Hello everyone, welcome to my video. I am Dinda Rahmadhan. You can call me Dinda. I'm an accounting student from Dinda Sarana Informatica University. I am from class 63.2B.04. My student ID number 63251011. Today, I want to talk about something that happened to all of us. But before we start, I want to ask you guys, have you ever wondered why we can scroll our phone for hours even we have a lot of work? Or why we almost always put off the text until the last minute? If so, we're in the same boat, guys. Fun fact, in reality, about 40% of what we do every day is not a choice. It's a habit. Habits are like invisible chains, too light to be felt until they're too heavy to be broken. So now, let's learn together how to break those bad habits and take back control of our time. Okay, to fix a bad habit, we must understand how it works. Every habit follows a simple loop. It starts with a cue, leads to a routine, and ends with a reward. The cue is the trigger, like feeling stressed or bored. The routine is action, or the habit itself, like opening social media or eating junk food. Last, the reward. The reward is the temporary dopamine rush or the momentary escape from reality. For example, when our brains feels happy or relaxed for a short time. We cannot change a habit by using only willpower because willpower runs out quickly. Instead, we need to find our triggers. We can ask ourselves, when do I do a bad habit? Where am I? If we already found the trigger, we can control our action. In the famous book Atomic Habits by James Clear, he says we shouldn't try to fix everything in one day, but we just need to be 1% better every day. We can do this rule, which is the 2-minute rule. It means we make our new good habit take less than 2 minutes. For example, if you want to read a book, just read one page. If you want to exercise, just put on your sports shoes. The goal is just to start. Once you start, it becomes much easier to continue. Next, change your room or your workspace. This is called environment design. Like, if you want to stop checking your phone at night, you can put it in another room. If you want to drink more water, you can put your bottled water on your desk. Remember the golden rule. You don't just stop a bad habit, but to replace it, give our brain a new and healthier routine that provides similar reward. For example, if you feel bored, don't just sit there for scrolling. Replace scrolling with a quick stretch or a glass of water. Make bad habits hard to do and make good habits easy to see. Finally, breaking a bad habit is not just about changing what you do, but it's about changing who you are. Instead of saying, I'm trying to stop procrastinating, say, I am a productive person. Because when your habit become part of your identity, your action will follow. You don't have to be perfect, guys. Just focus on being 1% better than you were yesterday and be consistent. So, let's break the loop, change your space, and start small. Thank you. This is the part 1 of this video. So, let's move on to the part 2. I will presentation to you guys about sequence adverb. Hello everyone. Now I want to present to you guys about sequence adverb. In this presentation, we will look the definition, the purpose, the core values, the punctuation rules, and the example how to use these adverbs in our life. So, without any further ado, let's begin. First, let's talk about the definition of sequence adverbs. Sequence adverbs, also known as adverbs of order. These adverbs are words used to describe the order in which two or more actions or events happen. Sequence adverbs are also great for writing exercises. They come in handy when composing stories or academic essays. Next, The purpose and function of sequence adverbs. The main goal of sequence adverbs is to organize our thoughts, ensure they flow logically, and connect our sentences clearly. They act as signposts for the reader or listener. We can imagine them like road signs, because they're helping us understand what happened first, what happened next, and how the process ended. This makes it easier for others to follow a complex argument or a set of instructions and help them understand exactly when each action happens. Okay, on this slide we can see the five core of sequence adverbs that we use most often in everyday English. There are first, next, then, after that, and finally. For the details, we can see undisable. I've divided them into three categories based on their position in a sentence. First, the beginning position. Words like first, firstly, first of all, or to start with are used to talk about the very first step of a process. Next, middle position. Words like next, then, after that, subsequently, or later are used to show the progression and connection between steps. And last, end position. Words like finally, lastly, in the end, or at last are used to signal the conclusion or the final result. We can mix and match these categories to stop our English from sounding repetitive. Next, let's check the punctuation rules of the sequence adverbs. The most important rule to remember is starting with a comma. When a sequence adverb starts a sentence or introduces a step, we must put a comma immediately after it. This creates a small natural pause that helps the reader prepare for the main action. Our formula is simple. Sequence adverb plus a comma plus the sentence. For example, first research the topic. Next, create a draft. And finally, check for errors. We can see after the adverbs, there a comma. To see how this works in real life, let's look at an example, how to make mango juice. Pay close attention to how the sequence adverbs build the recipe. First, peel the mango. Next, cut the mango into pieces. After that, put the mango in a blender, add water and sugar as well. Then blend them all until smooth. Finally, pour the juice and serve. See how easy it is to follow the recipe when we use these words, right? Okay, to wrap up, sequence adverbs are simple but incredibly powerful tools. They help us tell stories, give directions, and explain our thoughts clearly to our audience. As a tip, remember to use a variety of words, not just the word then, to make our English sound much better. So, remember the golden steps. First, plan our ideas. Next, use our sequence adverbs. And finally, speak with absolute confidence. Okay guys, this is end of my presentation. If you guys have any questions or want to discuss it more, you can drop it on the comment section. Thank you so much for watching everyone. Bye bye.